Hi, my name is Corey Minter, and I am the president of Trinity Employment Specialists, and we are a staffing agency located here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we staff for travel nurses all over the nation. And this particular video cast is going to be travel nursing trends looking ahead, what to expect from travel nursing, what has changed over the last little bit is COVID has really flipped travel nursing up on its head and tried and has probably discouraged a lot of travel nursing nurses to maybe even have to go back and gain traditional employment, whereas they were used to travel nursing, used to a complete different working lifestyle, and probably a complete different salary. But I want to take a look at this and add some perspective on what to expect in the coming days, because I think some of these things are just inevitable. And whereas a lot of discouragement may be in the marketplace of travel nursing right now, I think having a perspective on what's to come might be of a little bit of help. And so I want to start out at first with giving you some data on some salaries of travel nursing. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it lists the average pay of a regular licensed nurse at $43,170 annually. And in contrast, the salary of a travel nurse can go as high as $103,893 annually, according to payscale.com. So these are complete different salary ranges. My thoughts is that there are a lot of nurses that are either going to stay out of the ball game right now because there are very few travel nursing opportunities out there. We've had in every video cast, we had a huge surge that, oh my gosh, we're going to need a lot of nurses. Then we had a huge dive. Oh my gosh, we have no one in the hospitals. Doesn't matter that we've been told that our hospitals are cram-packed. Then now we've got this, we had the riots. COVID was no longer a big deal during the riots. Now we've got, after the riots are no longer an issue, we have a huge surge. And now we had travel nursing emergency rates are coming back. But then they dove again after another week. Like, this is true. This is what's happening to at least us. So we know as a travel nurse, we know that you're experiencing some confusion in the marketplace, trying to figure out what's going on here. We're trying to do the same thing, or we are having the same thing happen to us. But I want to try to give you some perspective on this. I understand that a lot of nurses are likely going to need to go back to traditional employment for a little bit, and that's probably not a bad idea while this irons itself out. But most likely, nurses are going to begin to see the inevitable happen. And that is that nursing is going to have no choice but to continue to grow to be one of the highest demanded professions in the coming years, mainly because we are having so many people beginning to retire and needing health care. With older age comes health care. Listen, I'm 46 years old. I don't know why, but I used to make fun of all of the 40-year-old men that, if we were playing baseball or something like that, they would try to bend down and they'd be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I just remember being younger and I'd be like, oh my gosh, man, you're a wuss. Well, this week alone, I was sitting in my car and I didn't even twist, but my back goes out. So last Thursday, I have to go home and basically lay down on a recliner because I can't hardly move. My hips have gone out simultaneously, and I haven't slept since last Thursday, and it's Monday now. Because if I sleep on this side, my rib's out, And if I sleep on this side, my back's out. And then if I get up and walk, my hips are out. What the world? Okay, this happens to people. And the older you get, the more health care that you need. I would have never thought that I was going to be seeing a physical therapist. I've always been in great shape, but this is just what happens. I'm just one case of this happening to a lot of different people. So you're going to have all of these people retiring, sitting at home. Healthcare is going to be needed. And simultaneously, there was a huge surge of RNs in nursing that came from an earlier generation. And they are going to be retiring. And we don't currently have enough nurses that are needed to replace all of those that are going to be retiring. So we're adding more people into the market, reducing the amount of nurses that are available, and we're trying to get some of these newer nurses into place. And so hospitals are going to have no choice but to begin to use travel nursing as a way to financially incentivizing nurses to come work for them to cover for their shortages. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. So I want to give you some statistics to help you with this. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, through 2022, there is expected to be 1 million job vacancies for registered nurses. This mostly has to do with the workforce that is reaching retirement age and not enough younger nurses to take their place. So, we've got this COVID thing happening that's confusing everyone, including me, but we still have this same certainty of what I just read to you. By 2022, there are going to be a ton of people entering the needing health care. We have a ton of RNs that are going to be retiring, and we don't have enough younger nurses to replace the need. This is going to happen. And by the way, this is happening with physicians as well. That's why you're seeing everything turn to telemedicine. And that's because it is a certainty. We do not have enough physicians to take care of the people that are coming into our workplace, or not coming to our workplace, coming into needing health care. So looking ahead, the aging population has more senior citizens than ever before, many of whom will develop one or more chronic health conditions as per the U.S. Census data. Projections by 2050 says that there will be 88.5 million people over the age of 65. And because of that simple truth that I'm 46 years old and I can barely walk around anymore and I've always been in great health, like this doesn't get any, it's just going to keep happening. And it happens to a lot of people. So looking ahead, as a result of the continuing nursing shortage, it could very well end up that medical centers begin to rely more and more on travel nurses, like what I was saying, and other contracted workers to meet this demand. In many cases, it's going to be more cost effective for them to bring in nurses as needed as opposed to hiring full-time staffers. So we've heard of the gig economy. The gig economy that's travel nursing. That's all it is. It's just that you get paid almost double and you have a lot of flexibility in what it is that you can do. Although travel nursing is getting a big, huge hiccup right now, and we can't all figure it out what it's going to do, I just want you to know for certain, based on labor statistics, this gig economy is going to grow and it's going to get larger. We've got a lot of hiccups going on. Administrators are trying to figure out how to deal with the shortage of people in the hospitals. COVID is keeping people out of the hospitals. We don't understand it because there's a 99.89% chance that you're not going to have a severe case of it or you're going to die. So I don't understand this, and I'm sure a lot of people don't understand it, But I want you to know that the truth is that travel nursing is still going to be needed, and the demand for nurses is still going to be needed. So don't worry. Just we got to wait this out, let it iron itself out. If Trinity can help you in the meantime, we would love to be able to do it. You got to get your paperwork in so we could submit you quickly, because there's thousands of nurses waiting to be submitted. But we would love to be a resource for you. Please give us a call at 918-622-2588, or you can visit us online at trinityemployment.com.